Hello and welcome back to Echoes of the Wandering Inn. My name is Paul Morris.
And I'm Geoff Lalonde.
And we are today going to do maybe chapter 1 of The Wandering Inn, where we're going to discuss, review the goings-on of the first bit of The Wandering Inn.
Yeah, and because the chapters themselves don't really have titles, we are naming this one A Boy Would Never.
A boy would never, yeah. Or The Hunt for the Dust Rag.
One or both. One or both. So chapter 1 starts off with Erin, or unnamed person, showing up in some like autumnal setting, finding a random inn after being attacked by a dragon ?
And some green folks who
With red eyes and sharp pointy teeth.
just stumbles across this decrepit building and goes in.
Which, I mean, super safe.
Yeah, of course.
Super safe. And of course, you know, as we're getting into a new place, new story, it gets very, very wet very suddenly, and the rains, as I call them, the rains of change, start a-blowing.
And she has to escape the rain and goes into this scary inn, even though she's like, should I go in here?
Yeah, and I mean, she does in fact go in. And once she gets in and starts getting into her own thoughts, she really starts to think about what all has happened while having a really hard time breathing, because apparently there's like several inches of dust just on every surface.
Well, she's so lucky she doesn't have like allergies
Or asthma or anything like that. But you know, it actually kind of really threw me, because dust really only happens when there's people there to create dust.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I didn't really think. You're right. That why would there be dust? There would need to be someone walking around to excrete the stuff that would create dust.
But in any case, it causes our intrepid hero to have to clean.
Which is the funniest thing in the world. Like, literally almost died.
Twice.
It goes into a room and goes,
Must clean.
clean. Clean is what I should be doing right now.
Hence, a boy would never. And so, you know, she starts getting into it and starts searching around for a dust rag, which she does eventually find a curtain.
A curtain that she thought was a ghost.
Yeah, you know, I consider that her third battle, which, quite honestly, I think she lost.
She did lose.
against the curtain, guys.
It was, I think, the fun thing about this whole chapter was Pirate Abba can make you want to know what's happening. Even the most mundane things are happening.
Yeah. And it like, by the time I got to the end of the chapter, I was like, okay, I'm invested. I want to know who this girl is, why this inn is important, who these goblins are, or green folks.
Are they coming?
In public?
But so we go and we get the character who is unnamed cleans all of the surfaces in the inn with her new dust rag and the bucket of water
that of course is conveniently received from the rain that's falling outside.
The multiple buckets of water that she gets.
Yeah.
And when she falls asleep.
Oh, before that, though, it's important to say that this girl may have a slightly higher than obsessive desire to play chess.
Yes.
Because all throughout this story, and even in the first chapter, she's like, okay, first steps, pawn to e4, pawn to c5, Sicilian defense, here we go. And I'm like, I don't play chess. Nope. Quite honestly, it is as far over my head as a dino bird. Like, I don't get it at all.
Yeah, I agree. I played it a little bit when I was a kid, but like I would lose. Oh, fully.
Oh, absolutely. Especially against our main protagonist here.
Oh yeah.
But then, right as she's about to go to sleep, all she hears is...
Innkeeper class obtained. Level 1. Basic cleaning obtained. Skill. Basic cooking obtained.
And she's all like, the
What?
fuck? And that brings us to chapter 2, which we're going to call...
The clouds are too big.
Which it is. They were. So starting off chapter 2, Erin now wakes up, Erin re-wakes up after just barely falling asleep.
And she tries to figure out what's going on because she just attained a class. And she's like, is it a video game?
Did I just level up? Which, spoilers, yeah, she did.
She did.
And I found it really funny because she appeared to go through the 5 stages of grief in
5 seconds.
2 seconds. She was like, seriously? What is this? A game? Denial. And then she's like, no, it can't be. A dragon, goblins, and now leveling, bargaining. Right? Yeah. And then she goes, like hell it does. Anger. And then after a while, she just starts crying because, I mean, it was pretty overwhelming. Sadness.
I'd be overwhelmed if I just got teleported to another universe.
And then she's just like, I'm tired. That was the last thing she said before she fell asleep, which I'm just going to count as acceptance.
Yeah.
Right? So it was funny that within like literally 300 words, she went from the top end of the grief cycle to the bottom end of the grief cycle and then just passed out.
Yeah. And I think we discussed this earlier, but like it's a little bit of a spoiler, but not really. Like I wonder, because of her leveling up, that did this world like shift her to like make her accept that?
You know, it is quite possible. I'm sure we'll get some more into that later on. But it very well could be that as you take levels, you know, your brain shifts to finding ways of coping.
Yeah. And and so continuing in this chapter,
she starts exploring.
She leaves the inn in the morning. And she, even though all the stuff that's happened to her, that she didn't think it was another world until she got outside.
Yeah, and she was like, the very first note, and I'm going to read it from here. The clouds were too big. Erin Solstice looked up to the sky and realized it wasn't just the clouds. The sky was too vast. The sunlight was coming from beyond an incredible mountain range, and the sky was so blue it hurt her soul. The kinds of beautiful colors made her feel like it was a day to be remembered. Yet up as she craned her neck or her head back, she could see clouds, even tiny pinwheeling birds she could barely make out. And like it really painted me a picture that like the world she is now on is massive.
And just like it's interesting because how different this world is, and she's trying to figure out what the fuck is happening, but she's like, I guess I'm here.
Right? And the other cool thing was that grass isn't necessarily green. It was described as moving from green to orange to even purple in places. And it was yellow turning into dusty red and wavy patterns across the landscape. So the colors of the world don't even match what ours is. It's just an entirely alien planet.
Yeah. And so she goes and tries to find, I think she goes to try to find food because she's hungry.
Well, who wouldn't be after running for your life twice and then cleaning an inn after a whole night?
But remember, she didn't clean the floor. She did not clean the floor.
No, she slept in a dirty floor,
yeah.
Actually. After specifically saying she was cleaning the tables.
To sleep on. But she didn't. She slept on the floor. Under the window, that was open.
Yeah, that was one of the few windows that didn't have a shutter.
Because, you know, who needs safety? She goes and tries to find food, and she one of the things that Pirate Abba does so well is fighting.
But like, not even just fighting, but like the misdirect. Mm-hmm. Like the way the very first creature that she finds is what's described as a rock crab. But it's not described as a rock crab to begin with because it's the size of a bus. The way that it was actually described was like there was nothing too important about the rock except that it was like a boulder, a gigantic mound of stone, rounded at the top like a small hill and twice as high as a normal person and just as long across. In short, it was just a big rock.
Just a big rock. So Erin, luckily, I think she like ducks or something. Like she has some sort of misstep, and luckily, because of that, the rock crab doesn't rip her head off.
Yeah, by happenstance, really. Which I mean, let's be honest. That's I feel like kind of just like Erin's MO is just like happening to get away with shit.
Yes, and not die. Horrible things happen. She was literally almost burned by a dragon to death.
Yeah, and then chased by a group of goblins. Then a horrifying attack by a curtain.
The horrible evil ghost that was a curtain.
And now attacked by a bus-sized crab.
That she gets away from.
Yeah. And then stumbles across a little orchard of gray, thin trees
that are invincible.
Hard as rocks. Can't bend them. Can't, like, break off a branch. With these...
Weird blue fruits.
Weird blue fruits that, I don't know, they kind of gave to me, like, kiwis with, like, the fuzzy exterior skin.
Like, I when I think of them, I pictured, like... almost like a bumped, like a sectioned tomato, a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that. But inside of them, there is we don't know what's inside of them yet because first she has to get them and climb the tree. Which I don't know if you've met many people who play chess, but the vast majority of them
don't have a lot of upper body strength.
Yeah, so watching her. Listening to her story about trying to climb this tree was endlessly entertaining. And the entire time I was just sitting there going, same.
Like literally she goes, am I going to die because I can't do a pull-up?
I mean, me. Yes. Yes.
And I will say, I have seen criticisms of this series that say that who talks to themselves this much? Because Erin... to this point, has not interacted to another person, but she has spoken a lot.
A lot. And, I mean, yeah, I gotta say, when you are alone for an extended period of time, you're gonna talk to yourself.
And I think, and she's funny. Like, it's like, she knows that talking to herself is weird. She brings it up several times that talking to herself is weird.
It's only a concern if you talk back.
No, it's only a concern if the window talks back.
That's fair. So finally she gets the fruit, and the thing that honestly made me laugh in the moment was where she was like, mysterious blue fruit acquired, da da da,
and didn't happen. And she was like, damn it, because she thinks she figured it out how to level, but not yet.
And now the end of chapter 2 flips perspectives, which I don't know if you're much of a fan, like what your thought is on flipping perspectives, but this series does it a lot. A lot. And I can't say that I was a huge fan going into the series. I really like a singular person's perspective.
Which is funny because I have the opposite opinion because I come from a background of fantasy, high fantasy. So
how high were they?
So I switch POVs all the time, but what this series does, which I don't think a lot of series do, is switching POVs in the middle of a chapter.
Yeah, and I have to say, Pirate Abba did such a phenomenal job of maintaining the story and making you still be interested in the other stuff that's going on outside of the inn, because ultimately does end up looping back around in some way, shape, or form.
It's all connected.
It's like a little web.
So the last part of this chapter is what we do find out is that Erin did interact with a dragon. She walked through her bathroom, was walking to her bathroom, and walked into a dragon's cave.
Yeah, and from the perspective of the dragon, he had several hundred alarms and warnings and proximity alerts, and all of those were just bypassed to suddenly have this random 20-year-old human girl showing up in the middle of his lair, and all the alarms just randomly started screaming in his head, going, "You're about to die!"
But the funniest part was, like, to think, because the dragon, he describes it as screaming like a little girl, or like screaming like ah! Because he didn't actually blow dragon fire.
Yeah,
he screamed.
It says right here, it says he woke up with a scream, which was hugely embarrassing. When he would inevitably meet his end, the dragon had resolved himself to go out with dignity, befitting his nature. He'd even come up with a speech.
But, like, this, it's so funny because how Pirate Nova can, like, humanize and, like, endear you to a character in seconds.
Oh, in seconds. This dragon became, like, one of my favorite characters in this book, which, granted, we've only met 2 people at this point.
Yeah, fair.
But even still, it still stands to be one of my favorites. And something else he said later on, he was like, "I don't think I'm going to sleep for a year." And then it literally says 3 days later. I mean, I was same, buddy. Same.
And this goes into a little bit, not really a spoiler, but because as soon as this happens, he moves.
Yes. Yeah, he wherever it was that Erin, or rather our unnamed protagonist, found him, he moved locations to, like, a second secret shelter.
Yeah, and he, like, reinforces all of his stuff, and the dragon slept once more.
Mm-hmm. And that ends chapter 2. I suppose at this point we will see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you for joining
so
us.
much for listening.
And we will improve. This is our first time. So if you like us, don't forget to follow us.
Yes. I'm assuming it will be called something along the line of Echoes of the Wandering Inn. But check out that description down below and just verify that, I suppose.
And always we're going to be on all the podcasts where podcasts are available, Spotify, wherever. Can we be on Audible? I don't know. I think they do podcasts on Audible, but I think you have to pay for that.
Probably. I don't know. We'll
figure it out.
But anyways, thank you again for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye now.
Bye-bye.